So, a very good morning to one and all that are present in this session. I am Dr. Shweta Singh, and I will be taking you a session on human resource management. The topic that I have chosen for today's class is recruitment. So, if we talk about recruitment, the basic idea where the recruitment comes into HRM is firstly, as an HR, you need to be clear with your organizational goals and objectives. If your organizational goals and objectives are very clear, which is that will lead to your proper planning process, that is HR planning. After the HR planning process, which is basically in the HR planning process, you will be forecasting for the future, and then you go for the job analysis. After the job analysis, or you say in job analysis, you particularly talk about the you prepare a detailed job description and job specification. Job description is where you describe in detail what are the necessary things that a particular job is going to have, a particular job is going to be about, and what are the different types of specific skills, qualities, abilities that are needed for doing that job. It comes under job specification. So once you have done the HR planning, you go for the job analysis, you prepare a detailed description about the job, qualities, abilities, skills that are needed. Then you go for the recruitment process. So, recruitment, if you talk about recruitment process, it is a process of generating a pool of qualified candidates for a particular type of job. So you should be very clear what type of job it is, what type of skills are required, what are the educational qualifications. If talking about the personal appearance, physical features, what are the different types of qualifications, certifications that are required, you need to have a thorough idea about that, and then you go for the recruitment. So recruitment is basically, it is a process which a company uses, which an organization uses in order to generate a pool of candidates, or which can be suitable or which can be helpful if recruited, if selected, for the benefit of the organization, or for meeting the organizational goals and objectives. Therefore, it can also be said as that it is a process of discovering the potential candidates. What are the potential candidates? How you will be discovering the entire process of this discovery, how you will be approaching them, what would be the exact procedure of approaching them, how you will be motivating the candidates to apply for a particular type of job. It all comes under the process of recruitment. Now, the basic goal of recruitment is, first goal is to attract the qualified applicants. There can be a lot many applicants or a lot many candidates which are present in the entire geographical area. But the candidates who meet your criteria, who meet your job specification, who are having the desired qualifications for a particular position, for a particular type of job, you have to attract that qualified candidates or applicants only. Then the second thing is, the goal would be, if you have identified, you would be now motivating the applicants, the qualified applicants, to apply, and also encourage the unqualified applicants that they don't apply. So there would be a task that you have to attract, you have to motivate the qualified applicants, whereas the second thing would be that you have to self select the applicants who are not applicable for the particular type of position. Now, you can see that recruitment is a two-way process. One is that from the organization perspective, you can say that organization is looking for a qualified applicant, whereas the potential candidates or the applicants, they are looking forward for the employment opportunities. So it is a two-way street where both, where the recruitment process will make the organization meet the potential candidates for a particular type of position. So two side by side motives are going on. One is for the organization which is looking for the qualified applicants, whereas on the other hand the candidates are looking for the best opportunities which can come on their way, and the recruitment process is going to benefit both of these, the organizations who are looking for the candidates as well as for the candidates who are looking for the desirable job positions in very well organized organizations. Now the recruitment process for an organization, the organization, how this recruitment process happens for the organization is, there is a vacant or a new position which occurs depending upon the job profile or depending upon the job analysis. A vacant or a new position arises in a organization. Then the organization, it creates a candidate pool via the internal or the external recruitment methods. What are these methods? We'll be looking forward as we approach further in this session. Then evaluation of the candidates. Obviously, it is the next stage after recruitment. Evaluation of the candidates via the selection process, impressing the candidates, and then making an offer. So the company will make an offer, whereas the candidate, what it will do is receive the education, it gets the education, it chooses the occupation. Then if there is some exposure, if there is some training, then they acquire the experience through that. Then they start searching. After the completion of their education, they start searching for the job openings. Then they start applying for the jobs, and once they have applied, that is their recruitment process has begun. Then they have to go further, that is the selection process. They have to come impress the company through the selection process, evaluate the jobs and the companies, and then finally when the company is making an offer, they are having the opportunity of either accepting or rejecting the job. Then the strategic recruiting decisions which the company has to do is HR planning decisions. HR planning decision means how many employees will be needed in the future or in the present upcoming days, how many of employees will be needed for completing a particular type of task, when they will be needed, then the KSAs that are needed, that is the knowledge, skill, and the abilities that will be required on the part of the candidates who are coming to fulfill a particular type of position or to do a particular type of job. What are the different types of specific qualifications, special qualifications, whether they need to have the knowledge about working on a software, they need to have certain certifications. So these are the planning decisions. Then strategic recruiting decisions comes when you have to recruit, whether you have to follow the internal method, means the employees who are working in the organization, you will be accommodating these employees only, or you will be following some external method, approaching the out from the candidates from outside your organization. Who you will be recruiting, फ्लेक्सिबल स्टाफिंग ऑप्शंस, हु यू विल रिक्रूट, बाहर से लेके आएंगे या अपने ही एम्प्लॉयज को मौका देंगे, क्या करेंगे, व्हाट इज द नेचर ऑफ द जॉब रिक्वायरमेंट्स, वेदर द एम्प्लॉयज हु आर ऑलरेडी देयर इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, present already there in the organization, whether if you recruit them or if you internally absorb them in your organization, whether they will be able to do the justice with the job, whether they have that type of skills, abilities, knowledge to fulfill that position. So the strategic recruiting decisions. And then final decision on recruiting the sources or the methods. How you will be approaching the candidates, advertising choices that you have to make. Then the recruiting activities, advertising choices, whether you will be internal methods, you will be adopting, or the external methods, you will be publishing in the newspapers, you will be flashing on some social media, what would be the right technique, or doing some email type of things. So what would be your advertising choices in order to approach the right type of candidates, and then you will be going for the recruiting activities, whether you will be creating some panel, you will be creating some committee for the recruitment process, and for finally for the selection process. Then the other strategic recruiting decision would be how the recruitment that you are going to do, whether it would be for a regular employment, it would be a full time or part time, it would be for independent contractors, it would be professional employer organizations and employee leasing. So there are several options that are available to you as an organization. You need to choose from these options. Regular employment consists of continuous, predictable and scheduled employment for a certain period of time, which is maybe either a full time or a part time. Full time, it consists that you have to have an employee who works for you for about 37 and a half hours per week, whereas part time employment consists of a regular schedule of less than 37.5 hours per week. So whether you will be going for the part time or you will be going for the full time, it is entirely the choice of the organization. Then coming on the independent contractors, perform specific services on a contract basis. On a contract basis, you are taking some employees for a certain period of time, and then after the contract is over, they are free to move. Then professional organizations also provide the employees for a specific task or for a specific period of time, which is also said to be as that you can hire or take the employees on a lease for a certain period of time for a specific task, and then after the lease period is over, the employee is free to go. Then the temporary workers are there depending upon the type of work that is coming there. For example, some seasonal works, or all of a sudden some work arises. So you need not have the employees for a longer period of time. So for a temporary period, you can keep them for very short period, for a day to day basis, for week to week basis, you can keep them in your organization. Then the seasonal employees. In certain organization or in certain companies, we can see that as per the season, their demand of the employees arises, because the new consignments, new project works can come depending upon the season. For example, if there is a company which is manufacturing clothes. So depending upon the season, winter season is there, summer season is there, autumn season is there. For certain seasons, the demand of the product which the a particular company is making, it can be higher. So that depending upon that, the company can hire. For example, there are certain festival seasons. So festival season, you have to manufacture a large number of products, any product which is in demand in that particular festival. So for that, you can have hire the seasonal employees. Now, the sources of recruitment, it can be, as I told, internal sources and external sources. Internal sources is through job posting and bidding, promotions and transfers. मतलब अपने ही employee को आपको internally absorb karna hai. It can be from a referral method, it can be an employee who is already working in an organization in which you are seeing a potential, so you can recruit them internally. Re-recruiting former employees, some employees were already working in your organization and left to join some other organization or are sitting idle, so you can go for the re-recruitment process. Internal recruiting database, you can go for the internal recruiting database, or for the internal database of the employees who are already working in your organization, and you can use it for recruiting the employees who are already present. Then the advantages and disadvantages of the internal sources of recruitment. Advantages is you are promoting the morale. The people who are already working, if you are using them in your organization or absorbing them, obviously there would be an increase in their motivation or morale. You will be assessing their abilities. The cost that would be involved at the part of the organization, it would be less. Then you have to hire only at the entry level, because at each level what you can do is you can give some training to them, and then obviously you can reabsorb them. The disadvantages are there, the possible morale problems can be there. The employee will think that, many employees might think that they are not getting many options to move outside. Then there would be a continuous need for the management development program, because hiring at a level at an entry level and thinking that they will be fit for each and every role would be unsuitable on your part. So you will have to provide the training facilities at an each and every level. Then the external sources, very, these are very common sources. We can see certain ads, advertisements that are coming in the newspapers, magazines. Then through the employment agencies are there, Indeed is there, LinkedIn is there. Nowadays what we are seeing is on the social media also, that is FB is there, WhatsApp groups are there. So through them also the recruitment process is happening. Then the school, colleges and universities, they go for either for the job pool, or the companies come to the campus and the recruitment process starts. The advantages are that the new blood brings obviously youngsters who are coming with their own ideas. It is very beneficial for the organization. New thoughts, new insights come into the organization. The disadvantage is that it is a time taking process. It will cause a low morale on the employees who are already working in the organization. It is a costly method, and obviously the employees who are coming in your organization, you will have to give them time and space. You will have to impart them training, you will have to give them orientation programs so that they get easily and become the fit for the job of the organization. Then the popular methods are job boards, employer websites. You can visit the website of the organizations. You can search for the jobs from there. Now many organizations are there, such as Indeed is there, then LinkedIn is there. So you can create a profile over there, and you obviously you can, and many other also are there, where you can go and search for your jobs. Then the internet method or the social media method is one of the most popular methods now, because it is a bit cost saving, it is time saving, and it also helps in creating a large pool for the applicants or for the candidates. You get quality of applicants, then you do the evaluation, cost and benefit analysis. What would be the cost that you will be having if you are going for the internal method, or you are adopting for the external method, and how you will be overcoming it, and the candidates whom you are hiring, or whom you are whom you are taking in your organization through the recruitment, what would be the next step for the selection. So all these things in come in the recruitment evaluation. Suppose you are taking 300 applicants, then in the final interviews, how you will be cut shorting them, and then how many of them will be uh, getting the final offering from the company, and how many hiring you are going to do. So all these things you have to keep in mind. Once you are going for the recruitment process, you have to keep in mind the image of the company, the attractiveness of the job, then the internal organization policies, what are the mission and the objectives of the company, what is the job profile, what are the policies, and obviously the recruitment cost that will be coming to the company. So this is an example of the recruitment and selection process of Airtel, how it recruits the candidates for a particular position. Obviously, first decision is that whether you have to have the permanent or the temporary employees. Then it goes for the next is identifying the appropriate candidates, then preparing the job description, what would be, how you will be doing the screening, then assessment, then interview, then finally the offer, and all these things. And if the offer is accepted, the candidate is being recruited in the organization, that is joins the organization, and if it is not, then it is being rejected. So thank you, and have a great day. Any questions and queries that you will be having, we'll be taking in the next session. Thank you, everyone.